do what your spirit wants to do. That is really what you do when you show up in this space.
So what do you want? What do you want? How do you feel? Who's Naya? Who is Naya out of all of this, right?
Hello, everybody. So thanks for the invite again, Steph.
I'm just so grateful to have spaces open like this to be able to publicly and also privately answer those questions for myself.
Welcome to any returning fan that have come to other events I've held or BGC events, and all of my first timers. Thank you for trusting me and for showing up in this space. Tonight, Yin Yang is actually a Freedom Tour event, and so the way we're going to do this is we're going to bid farewell to 2021. I want to wish just a happy holiday season to everyone. Hanukkah was a bit earlier this year. Christmas just passed. We're on the 5th day of Kwanzaa. It's Nia or purpose, which for me just feels just very synergistic. I'm like in my purpose right now. So I was like, of course, it's today. And then New Year's on the Gregorian calendar, of course, is 2 days away. So just happy holiday season. I also want to acknowledge, though, that holiday season for some people can be really hard. And there can be mixed emotions around it. Lots of stuff can come up in the holiday season. So just send in whatever it is that you need.
Being new here, I met Stephanie, don't know, because I've only met her once. You know, I'm from the Midwest right now, just trying to make my way through life and to connect with complete strangers and feel completely connected with you through your words and your reflection of the last year. It's just like, like, you know, you're not alone, even in this.
So that's why I invited y'all here so we could spend some time together looking at our shadows over the last solar year. Thank the shit, thank the stuff, thank the what happened and didn't happen and all the stuff. Then bid it farewell. Open those palms and invite that newness of the next solar journey. So what we're about to do now is what we call a 5-minute prompt. The 5-minute prompt is a tool that I use both in the Black Girl Collective and a few of the other spaces that I host like this, where we just use it to prompt deeper conversations and exploration inside of ourselves on whatever it was we were talking about. Your invitation is to tap into what has already come up, right? Mm-hmm. Lean into it a little further and then just let it flow.
Leaving 2021, I let go of the lack of self-care and inconsistency with self-love and worth. And I'm leaving that tendency to pour and pour and pour into everyone and everything but myself. I released this for 2021, and I do it with a very thankful heart, but it no longer serves me. 2022, I welcome with grace. I welcome love and compassion with self. And I make room for spirit to continue to guide me on my path of purpose and on my path of higher self, knowing that the self-doubt would only hinder me and make me go left when I'm supposed to go right. So I surrender and I allow spirit to just guide me. I trust spirit to guide me.
As I forgive myself for picking up the pieces thinking they were all mine. I forgive myself for asking you to vow to this divine design that I was broken. I release the fear, now knowing these shadows are simply my token to love. I have a ticket to ride into the caves and bring in more light and love and breathe with whatever time I have left. I forgive myself. I release the need to have it all together and vow to myself to get better at this thing called ease as I now learn how to receive these pieces again.
I forgive not knowing. Um, I forgive doing for acceptance. I accept I know better now. I release the feeling of no control. I release running off of emotions only. I give myself permission to let go this year and trust is for the best. Based on my experiences and listening to the reaction of my mind, body, and soul, I release the shame. I know I'm not alone in my experiences and feelings. I give myself permission to share my truth, to sit in my truth, and understand myself more. I make room and invite genuine connections. I am a good friend.
Said in 2021, I'm letting go of self doubt, fear of self, stagnation, self sabotage, people pleasing, anger, not being my full authentic self, not doing, fear of power, fear of greatness, and allowing myself to stay down. Entering 2022 with room fully to accept messing up, getting back up, being afraid and still doing it anyway, learning something new, and forgiving myself.
That I let go of animosity, and I now have room for forgiveness. I let go of procrastination, so that I now have, excuse me, have room for consistency. I let go of resentment, so that I have make room for more love. I let go of crippling fear, and now have room to accept help. I let go of excuses so that now I have room for growth. I let go of negativity so that I have room for positive solutions. And I also fully invite monetary gain as well as blessings in my life.
I let go of fear, doubt, and shame, but not before I say thank you. Thank you for the learning, the earning, the spiritual bodybuilding I was able to do in my efforts and all the efforts to just shake that shit off. I couldn't. I wouldn't until the awareness arose from the core of me saying, you can't just shake it off. You can't shake that shit off. You got to go through this, grow through this. And through those fractures and splinters, you'll see your glow through this. I released the need for a co-signer on my lease of life. I released the notion that creator, creatress could have made an unworthy version of me. I step back into remembership myself. I sign my own damn field trip slips and I journey into nowness, fully crowned, fully receiving, fully forgiven. Ashe.
I forgive myself and release all things that's in my way. Keeping it moving, crossing over with no leftovers. Belief, believing, knowing that I will accomplish all that I set out to do. There may be some stumbling. I will stumble forward.
What comes up for you when you consider 2021?
So I have growth, tired, consistency, exhausting, release, growth, doubt, awareness, determination, elevation, work, hindrance, expansion, grace, trapped, patience, tenderness, peace, chaos, questions, decisions, doubt, preparing, purpose, decisions, patience, fear, openness, sweetness, a shift, frustrations, felt, barriers, difference, reflection, release, doneness, accountability, work, awareness, release, acceptance, closure, gratitude, ache, disconnected, a lot of awarenesses, growth, hope, conviction, healing, preparation.
Been quite a year, y'all. Rajni said, I'm noticing a sense of vulnerability.
So, I think it's very powerful and powerful that you opened up saying that you feel like you're in your purpose in this moment, right? Because all of those words describe polar opposites, right? It described this that feeling of a push and a pull, that feeling of where am I, how am I, what am I doing, how do I get to where I want to be, what is next, how do I do what's next? Do I have the time? Do I have the strength to do it? It's like there's all these questions that you wind up asking yourself and feeling, and like so these are all things that lead us to our purpose. I think that the work that we have done personally, but then also exactly, as Corinne said in the chat, duality is just this. It's all about finding the right answers for you, right? And I think that that's the most powerful point of all of this. Is like everybody had their own individual singular answers, but they were all answers that we can all either relate to at some time in our journey or understand because of our journey.
Consistency and really when I think about 2021, for me it's the lack of consistency, right? And that's something that I really went through. um I have, I've always had the ability to start things, and I realized that I've been extremely overwhelmed. Like I could identify with a lot of the other words, like disconnected, and um I think somebody mentioned about the work and accountability, right? And so I've gone through the same thing. And what I realized is like I have a lot of things on my plate. I've been able to successfully start some things, but not keep up with it. Right. And so, I haven't gotten to the point to where I see the benefit to continually progress. Right. And so one of the things that I'm looking forward to doing in the new year is following through, you know, and not just eating good for 6 days, being able to follow through and do it for the entire 6 months, right? And in addition to that, a couple of people mentioned like gratitude, and like me too, man. I'm so grateful for the process, right? This year has taught me above anything else that it's always progression over perfection. And it's like for me, my process it's ever changing, especially in the midst of the pandemic, the adjustment, the shift, the pivot in every area of my life. But really being able um to reflect on that and having a chance to do something different. Like I think that that's the best thing for me is like every new year it's a new chapter. Like I get to look back and see what I did, what I didn't do, but thank God, like I got a opportunity to do something different, right? You know what I'm saying? And to whatever I wasn't able to fulfill or complete, like now I got the grand opportunity to do it. And so that's kind of where I'm at with it, is that I'm really grateful to have made it through. Like, I was sharing that with a friend of mine, to where it's like, I consider myself one of the chosen, right? Because we've lost so many people due to various things within the last year or two, that it's like man, like, but I'm still here. Like, I still got an opportunity to, to do good in my family, to get right spiritually, to get right mentally, physically. Like, I still have the chance to do it, and so I would never waste the opportunity.
I said chills everywhere, everywhere. Because like I think what resonated the most with what he said was I got the ability, I start stuff. And see, for me, 2021 was to prioritize what's important, and go back to what Naya said, what do you really want? And that once I prioritized that, it was like I can follow through now. You know what I mean? Like it just it hit home hard.
What comes up for you in your spirit and your mind and your heart and your whole self when you're thinking about how you want 2022 to go?
Connection, peace. I'm happy to be here. Please, okay, so we're at sustainability, blessings, growth, sustainability, flow, success, abundance, change, growth, focus, balance, discipline, in purpose, balance, tenderness, elevation, peace, flexibility, happiness, peace, receiving, nurturing, spiritually centered, blessing, blessing, self love, joy, being, yes, joy, saying yes to joy, patience, loved, all of the above, self love, patience, accountability, fin- uh, finishing, connected, yes to accountability, alignment, yes to connection, wholeness, Naya, purpose, self patience, Naya, purpose, self compassion, knowing, grace, moving, fulfilling, trust, fearless, surrender, trust, surrender, trust, fearless, doing, trust, surrender, memory, out of my own wayness, reset, discipline, abundance, recollection, tall, healthy, expansion, remembrance, remembership, purpose, purpose, sustainability, abundance, creating, flow, valued, purpose, creating, and yes, flowing, stability, vision, knowingness, money, mental balance, trust, alignment, aligned, and more alignment, forwardness, forward, and that is the end of our list.
I just want to comment on that like little space when it was like trust, surrender, trust. Dang, I forgot the one after that, but that was kind of like that touched me because it's literally what, because like I was looking at everybody's words of what everyone was saying as it was coming in. I was like, yes, yes, yes. Then I started thinking about what Tracy said about like focusing on, you know, like making that decision of like what you want. And for me to get to these places, I have to trust and surrender. And just the simple fact that those like came right after each other in the chat was touching to me because that is the one thing that I struggle the most with. I've done a lot this year as far as like growth and like seeing it, but my battle with myself is the doubt. That's where I start to fall back. Every single time it gets me, like every single time, and just like out of everything, I just want to trust me. I want to trust my releases. I want to trust my abilities. I want to trust my willingness. I want to trust my dreams, trust my work, just trust it. And whether it fails or succeeds, because we know yin and yang, like we don't have to be tight with either way, because like this is the process where we're on a flowing, growing kind of thing. So just trust that I'm gonna be where I need to be, and the four agreements, as long as I do my best, like what else can I do? What else can we all do?
I 100% agree with everything you said. And that part got me too. Just reading it and then feeling it was just so pointful and powerful. It was like trust, surrender. It was like an echo of someone talking to themselves. When you say trust, surrender, trust. The way to surrender is trust. And the way to trust is to surrender. And through your surrendering, you will become fearless. And that is just amazing and playful and just like wow.
I see Tracy dropped in the chat to Michelle that self-doubt can become the biggest hindrance. Yeah.
It is, honestly. I believe it's the biggest one. Doubt and shame. Those are my two.
And they usually go hand in hand. And it always, for me at least, goes hand in hand. And when we talked about 2021 and the work, that's some of the hardest work is getting past the self-doubt, because most of us have carried that for a lot of years. And so just like they said, when you put on weight, you didn't put it on overnight, it's not going to come off overnight, but it's a consistent effort. Consistency again, Cash. Consistent effort and follow through. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing with the work on self-doubt. And trust me, I'm Stephanie's cousin, for you all that don't know. She'll tell you that has always been my biggest downfall. And so it hindered many opportunities, not just financial, job-wise, but even in partnerships, friendships, and what it does is it becomes detrimental to your stability, to your health. Like it is something that has to be a priority to get over in order to pursue what you need to pursue the way you want to do it.
When speaking on purpose, well, because my name is Naya Ilani, purpose and faith, I have been through so much duality in my life and so much feelings of I'm not in the right place at the right time, or I'm not doing enough, or can I be enough? That I have had. This 2021 has stopped me and sat me right in the middle of it all and said, "Oh, what do you want?"
Man, y'all are touching something at me, yo, for real. I'm really happy to be on here, like seriously. And I gotta agree. So let me like show y'all, right? So last year, I got this tattoo that says surrender, right? And I was going through something in my life and struggling with it. And it's crazy because my youngest daughter was getting ready to get her first tattoo, and she was like, I'll pay for you to get one. So far be it for me to turn down some ink that I don't have to pay for, right? So I didn't know really what I wanted. On the spur of the moment, like I said, I was struggling, right? And decided to get this tag. And what I realized, like I'm big on like definitions and stuff, and it helped me through that point in my life. But I also realized that it's a continual, that this don't stop. It happens, and I have to do it, even if I'm able to do it in one area of my life. Like there are times when I got to shift, and because I'm struggling in a different area. And that's kind of what I realized too. Like, yeah, that is definitely what's required. Like yet again, I have to surrender, if nothing else, than to like my self-will, right? Because one of the biggest things that I've realized is I do a lot of things, right? And they don't always work out well, right? See, so I probably need to start asking for assistance from my creator on these things so that it could work out better, right? And so that's kind of what I learned this year, and why it forced me to kind of get more in touch with my spirituality and things of that nature, because of the fact that it's like, yo, I'm not I gotta be able to submit to this higher authority in order for things to work out in my life. And so like that, me too. Like I put in the chat, I was kind of born and raised in Brooklyn, and anybody, like most New Yorkers, we don't trust people. Like, that's not what we do. You know what I mean? See, so I, even at this age, you know what I'm saying, I struggle. I struggle with having that full trust. Like, I trust you a little bit. A friend of mine said that we're actually planning a retreat, right? And they do this exercise where, like, you close your eyes or you blindfold yourself and you fall back, right? And I'm telling you, we were out, I want to say maybe about a month ago. We're having dinner, in Jersey. And the thought of it, like, all we doing is talking about it. And he's like, are you all right? I was like, yo, I'm sweating. Like, I'm hot just thinking that I gotta allow. I'm like, yo, because like I'm a big dude. So listen, I don't want, please don't drop me. Like, we gonna have all types of problems, right? You gonna take our relationship to a level that you don't want it to be at, right? So he's like, we gotta work on this. You know what I'm saying? And it's because that inherent fear of allowing somebody else to do what I do for other people. You know what I'm saying? That's the reality of it. It is like, I try my best not to put myself in situations where I don't really know what the outcome is. And so yeah, that's something that I'm kind of working on, and that I'm looking forward to changing in the new year. You know what I'm saying? Another thing that I've learned is to call things into existence. Because not just to think about it, or not to put negativity in the air, like it might happen or I hope it does. Like, none of that. I'm calling it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm claiming it, because these are the things that I need in my life. This is what I need to be successful, for the sustainability, all the words that I put, for the happiness in my life. These are the things that I need. And if I don't ask for them and say that it's going to happen, you know what I'm saying, then I don't think that it is. And so, that's one of the things that I'm kind of doing this year too.
Man, I feel like, can we stay here longer? Like, oh my God, to all of that. And then Corinne dropped in there, why is it so hard to receive? And I put that in there too, like receiving is on my list, because Tracy and I were just talking about it downstairs. We were laughing, we were talking to a neighbor, we call it the clan. I don't know if y'all heard that, but we have like a little family of us that we all just kind of connected to each other moving here in the last 6 months. And that's a whole story by itself. But I didn't even send the invitation to this in our little group chat. And I mean, we really go there. We talk about deep stuff, and I didn't send it. And that was everything to do with being afraid to ask for what I want. I want you here, but I'm afraid to receive that. I don't want to be a burden. I don't want to ask. And like Most High has been the practice. And then in the 3D, I'm still bugging. Like people like to give just like I like to give. Why not get into the flow of that? And so I'm working on that, and I'm calling that into 2022. I'm going to practice receiving on a grand and abundant scale. Like, I'm just doing that. So thank you for saying that.
As I now learn how to receive these pieces again. Receiving is so fucking hard. Excuse me for my French.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. I have like the whole point of my 2022 is like receiving the good, the bad, the ugly, and not be okay with falling and still having to get back up.
I stumble, right? I will stumble forward. Yeah. Yep. I could picture that. I felt that. My spirit was like, yes to all of that. Gosh, y'all are so, just thank you. Thank you for being in this space. Thank you for going through this part together, the connectivity. Nothing about our meeting was a coincidence. It blew my mind, and it still blew. All right, we have the same tattoo. I can't even. We met at my best friend's bachelorette weekend, and she was doing, and I have your books here too. Corinne got books, y'all. Wait, I got all my girls' books right here. So let's see. Drop those in there so folks can get them. Lynn had popped in. She popped out already. I know she had to go to another event, but she wrote her. Yoli is a professor at Columbia who I just freaking love, but these are her books, Love in the Vortex and Peace Chronicles. That's my, we got Cherie's and Your Voice Matters. And Naya, maybe if you have it in the chat, you can drop that in there. Who else we got? Oh, of course, I got Mia X Cash. I got Norky over here. I'm excited. I got Marizdes, Mimosas and Wafers. She's right in Brooklyn. Wait, nope, I already claimed this. I got a couple of things that I'm in. Yeah. So y'all send yours to me too if I don't already have them, so I can add them so we can support each other from wherever we are. We don't have to be in the same cities to do that. To like send you out lovingly, treating yourself with tenderness as we're making all of these transitions, releasing, calling in. That process is not for the faint of heart. So I'm sending you tenderness with that and stick to itness with that. And it's okay to rewind and refashion the way of that, sending all that energy. Thank you for being in my journey and letting me be in your.
This was wonderful.
Oh, thank you, Cash. I'm so glad you came.
Yo, this was amazing. I wanted to share just the fact that a friend of mine did like a burn your burdens a couple of years ago, where we like wrote down on paper and actually did a bonfire of things that we wanted to leave in 2021. And I was just talking to her about it and was upset that, you know, because of the crisis in the world, that, you know, we couldn't really gather the deck together. And so this has been absolutely amazing. Like, I appreciate you as usual, and nice meeting everybody, right? Hope to see y'all again soon and all that good stuff.
Look
And
at Spirit.
hopefully,
Spirit was like, here you go.
you know it. Like, I needed this. I really needed this. So I appreciate you.
That's
Y'all
the
stuck with
only
me
thing you asked
now.
for.
That was not an invitation. Now you're stuck and you
We
can't get
stuck
rid of
with
me.
you. We
Right.
hope
So
forever.
congratulations. You can't get rid of me now. Okay. I'm happy for y'all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cass, also wanted to say just thank you for like I'm blown away every time we're in this space at the levels, the depths that people are willing to go with complete strangers. And you know I do that because our souls know each other, right? But like I'm
Yes, thank you for
always
your
blown
bravery.
away.
You know, I love the space all the time. And it amazes me every time the different generations that are so vulnerable and so transparent in this space. I really wanted to say to everyone, but Michelle, understand that when you're working through that self-doubt, my love, you got to show yourself some grace because you're going to fall sometimes. I've been at this 48 years, you hear me? And I still fall. So you have to show yourself some grace. That's where that don't be ashamed, stand in your truth. All of that, all of it goes hand in hand. So everybody, as we leave 2021 and go into 2022, just remember to always show yourself grace.
Thank you so much for that. And thank you, Steph, for this space every single time and allowing me back into your space and just, yeah, I'm just so happy to be here and just continue to grow, basically. Thank you for that, Tracy.
The elder in my house is Tracy. So I'm gonna toss it over to Tracy and see if she can get us started tonight. You gonna beat me up later for this? I'll take it.
Pretty much.
I think that's my niece and my grand nephew. I love that so much. Hi, Ariel.
Hi, sorry.
No, don't be. That was perfect. We're reflecting on 2021. Isn't that like, that's a realness right there? Exactly. Somebody else said it too. That's real life. Good night, everyone. Love you. And I'll be
Tell everybody good night. Good night, and thank you for having me.
Night.
Good night.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful baby.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you so much for coming, guys.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, baby. Good night, handsome.
That gave me all the stuff on top of it.
Right, just all the heart feels. Oh, but I'm feeling all the vibrations right now. It's like you really feel like this transient feeling of like leaving 2021 and then going into 2022 because it's literally a couple days from from now. It's like beautiful. This energy in the room right now is really amazing. Thank you guys for not only showing up but like showing yourselves and then showing up. So
Yeah.
thank you.
All right, so why yin yang? Right. Well, to be honest, I woke up 2 days ago. It was in my spirit. It was like 3:30 in the morning. And I was like, okay. Like a painting happened. This sort of like just writing down of things that felt very unconnected happened. But you know, that's what happens sometimes with spirit. So I was just kind of like, okay, yin yang. And then I was just thinking more about it and like my current journey in this sort of balance place. Like, what is this thing called balance? Like, what the hell is that anyway? Like, how is it like, is it a goal? Is it a place to arrive at? Is this thing I kind of like pass through at different points? Or like, what is it? And I started to go, well, you know, like when I think of it, it's like a moment of homeostasis. It's like neutrality and peace for me. Sometimes it's right smack dab like the eye in the middle of the damn storm. Like it is what it is, you know. Um, but really, what kept coming was this idea of divine chaos and divine order in like that middle place. And so it made more sense to me why yin yang kept coming up. I was like, oh, yin, feminine or divine feminine, chaos energy. Okay, yang, divine masculine, order energy. And obviously not gendered. We're literally talking about energy, and we all house both. And they do all kinds of stuff in there. They sway, right? Um, and so I was like, oh, okay. And you know, the concept of yin yang in particularly is more popularly known through like ancient Chinese teachings, Lao Tzu, and the time period was like 1000 BCE to about 600 BCE, something like that. Like there's different theories about that. And the concept can be seen as far back as in Kemet or ancient Egypt, through Hermes, like 5000 BCE, countless indigenous cultures all over the planet, like literally everywhere in Ireland and India. And like there are all these concepts about some version of this balance place. And keeping time by somehow tracking one's shadow. I went there. I'm like, shadow, shadow, shadow self. There's like the shadow, like in back of you that's cast, and there's also the shadow. So I was like, yo, we're going to do a thing. It's going to be short notice, and whoever's supposed to be in the space will be there. That's the way spirit works. You know that stuff. So, like, just do the thing.